This is the video where I lose all the credibility as a reviewer, if I even had any to start with, because this movie made me go W-O-W. Wow. It is so much fun. A swarm of mutated bugs attacks vacationers at a beachside resort. Flesh-eating, man-eating bugs. And they do it all for the king of bugs, a huge, mutated mantis. It's so insane, and that's what makes it so much fun. Hi, I'm the Artie Dance from Asian Film Fans, and welcome to this review of the hilarious Chinese sci-fi horror comedy film, Bugs, also known as Bugs 3D. And if you're new to my channel and my reviews, please consider subscribing, as well as several video reviews per week on Asian horror, action and thriller movies. I also translate the latest Chinese, Hong Kong and Taiwanese movie trailers into English, as well as a weekly video series where I take a detailed look at Chinese horror movies. Check it out and stick around. A crazy mad scientist. It's always a crazy mad scientist. Hysterically punches numbers on his keyboard and ends up creating a super species of mantis. But the machine overloads and keeps creating more and more bugs, who overrun his lab, killing him and escaping into the waterways. Steve Zhang, a world-famous photographer working for a low-level men's magazine, and Xiao Fei, his on-again, off-again girlfriend and assistant, are checking into a luxury resort for work. Their magazine, owned by a rich jerk with no personality, has organised a massive beauty talent show where it seems every gorgeous young adult female in China has attended. Mantis and her bug-obsessed grandfather live at the resort as well. Mantis is an architect and a special guest of the talent show for some odd reason. Her and Steve Zhang are ex-lovers. At the same time, two goofy thieves are going room to room clearing out all valuables from the guests who are distracted by the beauty show. And trust me, it's a distraction. Blah blah blah, these flesh-eating bugs start to invade the resort, eating anyone on sight until they get full. Our cast, sans the thieves, but with the addition of this awesome tall co-worker, somehow end up on a rusted ghost ship, where King Mantis is waiting for his lunch to arrive courtesy of Uber Eats, or at least the nautical equivalent. You can seriously guess the rest. Trust me, it's not that difficult. I don't think you need to be a fan of monster movies to enjoy this, but it might help. Alternatively, if watching crazy, wacky, silly movies are your thing, then this is perfect. If you're a Wong Kar-wai student and obsessed with Goddard films, then steer way clear of this. You know what you're getting with the title, and that's it. To be fair to the film, there is a lot of effort put in here. It's a fairly big budget production for China, especially a monster film, and it shows. The scenes are full of extras, there's always something going on. The cast is remarkably beautiful and easy on the eyes. The acting is decent with only a few cases of overacting, and the visual effects, on the most part, are well done. There's some massive issues with the CGI, but everything else is pretty decent. What's not so great is the actual storyline, but it didn't need to be, because this movie is all about the comedy and the bugs. The first 30 minutes is a pretty solid example of how to immediately capture an audience's attention when you know the actual storyline is pretty naff. In between the leering plethora of bums and boob close-ups of the extremely beautiful cast of extras, the movie uses a scattergun approach to introduce all the main characters in the movie. We're given a quick, but relatively detailed enough, introduction and explanation of who all the characters are in this film and what role they will be playing. Speaking of actors, the cast here isn't your usual throwaway B-grade list. The main character of Steve Zhang is played by Chan Jung-wang, who was in 2018's user-favourite movie Dying to Survive, China's version of the Dallas Buyers Club. Supporting him are the gorgeous Zitong and Zilin Zhang, who are both cast in the upcoming 2022 Monkey King The Legend Begins film. Watching the bugs devour the bodies is quite satisfying, and not something I ever thought I would see approved by the Chinese government's Film Regulation Board. In fact, this whole movie seems like an odd movie to get an approval seal from the government. There's no artistic merit here. There is no cultural significance here. It's just pure entertainment trash, and it works so well. But my utter favourite scene of the whole movie is when Sci-Fi gets tributed by the Mantis at the end of the film. I never thought I would ever see anything like that in a Chinese film, and it is hilarious, and for that alone, I love this film. But the film is far from perfect, and the most obvious issue is the CGI bugs in the movie. The Mantis looks solid enough, with only brief moments where the final rendering of it looks average, but the crawling red and white bugs just look like something out of a PlayStation 2 game. Flat, simple colour textures are used, most likely to save rendering time, and luckily there's never a close-up of them. Hilariously though, for wide shots where the bugs are attacking people, it just looks like someone off camera has thrown white or red plastic rocks at the actors. There's also a massive unexplained plot hole in the film. Somehow, for some reason, Steve, Xiaofei, Mantis' grandfather, and the awesome tall co-worker end up on the rusted ghost ship at the end to rescue Mantis. But I was left scratching my head as to how they assembled and why they ended up there. I don't understand what I missed. And lastly, I think the grandfather character is wasted. It was established early on that he had a keen interest in bugs, but his knowledge was never tested or called upon in the film. Well hey, I love this film. I've never laughed harder in 80 minutes than I have with this. Adding up the hilarious characters, scenarios, and situations, and you've got a movie that never intended to take itself seriously and succeeded perfectly. It's a throwback to the cheesy American direct-to-video monster movies of the 90s, and if you love those films, then you must watch this. If you're a cinema snob though, I'm not sure how you made it this far into this video review, and you're best to avoid this film like the plague. But if you're just after a silly movie to watch, then you can do much, much worse than this masterpiece. My recommendation is your choice. Don't take cinema so seriously. If you've seen this disaster, what did you think? Thank you for watching this review. Please don't forget to press the like button and consider subscribing to support our channel.